What is going on, my beautiful people, man? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. In this video, we have something freaking amazing for y'all beautiful people. What we are going to be talking about in this video is, as a communicator, the best. These are 4 things that we're going to talk about in this video that are going to help us as communicators get to the best possible place that we can be coming from as a communicator in God. Now, what I mean is, I heard this concept and I'm gonna give it to you guys. It's from Owen Cook, and he was basically saying that there's 4 universal poop tests. Y'all can fill in the blank. Poop test that the universe, or the universal poop test, in the way of saying that people are going to constantly do this to you in anything. And if you're able to pass these 4 tests, it's going to be the best place that you can come from as a communicator, and it becomes something that we become aware of as communicators that people are going to do to us. And the more that it's not just like them doing it. Okay, so my freaking camera died. We back at it though. So a lot of the times it's not purposely that they're trying to like do this, but it's just something that people are going to do to see where you're really at. And it can be something, as you say, like just as a person in general, but really it's like, for us, how close we are to God and how much that we actually are in God's frame of reality. And when you're in God's frame of reality, that means that you're not affected by these things because you're just so strong in that frame of God and knowing that you're in God, not in needing the validation of other people. We're going to go into that right now. But it's so powerful because this is what we're trying to get to. This is the whole thing. And this was so powerful when I heard about this. And I know that it's going to be something that y'all can start to look at, become more aware of, and start going towards. And it's just going to be something that once you get into the awareness of, you're like, oh, shoot, that's how it's freaking working. All right, let me get closer and closer to God and realizing how important it is. So the first universal poop test, that you could say it on, people are going to do it, but it's also something that helps us as communicators if you're doing something on camera too. So first one is going to be, are you him, that guy, or her? Are you that guy or girl just because you are that guy or girl? Now, this is just saying, are you that guy or girl because you are a heaven-sent child of God, blessed, loved, prosperous, beautiful, amazing masterpiece? Are you them? Just when I say them, I mean like you're that guy, that girl, just because you are a child of God? Or are you that guy or girl for some other reason? Here's the thing. If you are that guy or girl because you have money, because you have looks, because you talk fast, because you get validation from people, because you're rich and famous, whatever it might be, that will never be stronger than being them just because you're them, just because you are them. Now, what Owen Cook was saying about this is, it's basically, there's always going to be somebody with more money than you. There's always going to be somebody who looks better than you. There's always going to be somebody more famous than you. It is a losing game to compete on status. And in reality, status is something that people do so that they can start to feel like they're walking about with an actual feeling of that status, the things that give off the high status things. You know, you're walking around with that swagger, you're walking around with the confidence. And the reality is, those people are going to, when they find somebody that has more money than them, or when somebody flares up an insecurity of them, does something that is getting them to the point where they're out of that, and you know, they poke holes in this frail actual confidence. It's not real confidence. They start to lose that. They start to not walk about with that because it's starting to get poked at. The foundation isn't strong. But just like it says in scripture, he who builds his house with roots by the water, basically building their house on God and the foundation of God, our foundation on God, it is the strongest place that we can ever build our foundation. And you know, those insecurities and things can come up, but we know that our foundation is in God. And even when that stuff does come up, we still have God, and we can continue to give it over to God, give the stuff over to God. And in reality, that high status, walking about like that with that confidence and that swagger, we can have that right now in God. And I think it's beautiful. It's so dang beautiful. I'm not saying I'm perfectly there. I'm still getting there. I'm still growing in my faith and growing in God and the foundation in God. But just realizing, this also goes with the second universal poop test. So the second universal poop test is knowing that your happiness comes solely from within. If your happiness, your joy, your peace, and your love, all that stuff comes solely from within. And this is basically saying your emotional state is solely from within, and realizing that. If you are trying to say that your emotional state comes from going to a certain place and you need to have this kind of like, this is where you get your happiness, or you need to have a certain amount of a certain house to have this amount of happiness, or you need to be hanging around certain people, or you need to be making a certain amount of money to have this happiness, or you need your life circumstances to be perfect to have this type of happiness, to have that joy, that love, that peace, then that's coming outside of yourself. And that's not as powerful as it is when it's coming from the inside, and knowing that that is all available to us right now through God, through the ability to get close to God's presence. So it's going, the way that one cook put it, putting the creator over the creation, putting the creator, God, over the creation. Man, when we're like, okay, the more that I go out and or I go talk to people, or the more that I'm able to hang out with my girlfriend, have a great time, girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever it might be, and having a great time, that's where I bring my happiness. That, how frail is that? And we've all realized that. If y'all have realized that y'all like are hanging out with your partner, or you're just going out and you're having like he says it like, he gives the example, if you're going out and you're like talking to people and you get a good interaction, and it goes great, and you feel that kind of like the winner effect, he calls it, and then the next person you go to and you don't have a good interaction, you're going to lose that effect. That is frail. That is like up and down, and in reality your actual core confidence is going to be so much lower because of that, because it's up and down. But if you can go do what you want to do, if I hang out with my girlfriend, trying to get to the place where even if she's mad and upset and she doesn't want to talk, she doesn't want to really interact, and still being able to have that place of inner joy and confidence and peace and love, I know that for sure, because I have the experiences with that, and it's the best place that I can come from. And it's just like, it's the fastest way to get her out of a mood, but then also just to maintain my peace and joy, and knowing that it's the most powerful place that we can come from, knowing that it comes from God, and knowing that that's all we can do. And it's not saying, so he says like, it's the emotional state, realizing that your emotional state is hinging upon you on the inside and getting close with God, and just knowing that that's all you can do, knowing that it's just about being able to manage your emotional state. Not saying that it's going to be perfect. Here's the thing, not saying that it's going to be perfect all the time. Even if you don't have that peace, love, and joy to infinity, whatever it might be, knowing that it's saying like, I'm not going to blame people on the outside. I'm not going to say like, oh well, if this person was this different here, or this person would have reacted differently here, or this person wasn't so angry, or the world's going crazy and I have no happy, how can I be happy because the world's going all crazy? That's putting it outside of ourselves. And it's like, you couldn't even tell just by saying that. It's a lower place to come from. It is a lower place to come from, versus saying, this is going on, yes, I'm kind of upset and it kind of messed me up, but I'm not relying on you to change my inner mood. I'm gonna fully on my end say, I know it's on me. I allow that to get to me. Let me do my work on the inside, get closer to God, continue to give this over to God, and I'm gonna get back to that place. I'm gonna get back and try my best to get to the place of peace, love, and joy. Even if I don't, I still have God, and I don't blame the world, I don't blame anybody else. I know it's hinged upon me. That is the second universal poop test. That's what we're trying to do, because people are gonna test you and say like, oh well, okay, think about this. Okay, actually, this goes into the third one. So the third one is going to be abundance or scarcity. So if you have an abundant mindset, you believe that God, and you know that God has such great things for you. You know that God has plans to prosper you, to give you a good future and not to harm you. And when you understand that and you know that, all of a sudden you start walking about with that, not needing a specific thing to go perfectly. Like we talked about with control. When you want so much control, you want everything to go perfectly your way, you're holding on to it so much. And people can feel that. People can feel like, oh, they needed that to go perfectly. It didn't go their way. All of a sudden they freaking go into a monsoon. They go crazy. They go act like the world's ending or something like that. But if we know, hey, if this specific thing doesn't go perfectly, if this doesn't go right, if this doesn't go right, if I'm like, I wanted this to go right, but it just didn't end up happening, and you can continue to move about with that, knowing that God is with you, think about how powerful that is, man. Just think about how much of an amazing place it is to come from that. Think about this too. Let me put this as an example, and let me first say, yeah, okay, this is the best example that I could use for this. So he put it to, in a relationship, the more that you're like wanting everything to go, like you don't want it to end, not saying that it's, of course we're not trying to have it end or anything, but the more that you're holding so tight on that, the more that you get jealous, the more that you are wanting so hard for that person to make everything perfect so that person doesn't leave or anything like that, the more that that person is going to pull away. But when that person pulls away, if you can confidently be, not saying that if there's something that you can work out, that you're not going to work it out, but if you can confidently be like, okay, if this relationship doesn't work out, we're going to be okay. Not saying that I want to go run off with the next person, but it's saying that even if I never met anybody else, I have God, we have God. And knowing that we can continue to go about our life like that, that you don't need anything, but you do this, you're in a relationship because you want to be, because it's just like, hey, I just want to be in a relationship. I just want to I love you, I want to make this work as much as I can. But if you're going over here and playing all these freaking silly games, doing all this stupid stuff, I'm not going to play along with that. That's powerful. It's like, I have the abundance. We have the abundance that we are thinking from, and knowing that God has so much beautiful stuff for us, that we're not relying on that relationship. We're not relying on a specific business deal to go perfectly. We're not relying on people to love us, because we know that we have God. Now, it's not saying that we don't love our partner. It's not saying that we're gonna like not even try. We can try, but from a place of genuine, a place that you're so secure on your end that you can try without it being needy, without it being from a place of need and desperation and holding on to this, trying to hold it all together. So from a place of abundance in general, knowing that God has goodness for you, versus I'm pretty sure every single one of us has been in a place where it just feels like life is kind of just like beating down on you. It's just hard, and you start getting that scarcity mindset, like, oh my gosh, is this thing right here going to harm me? Is this thing going to not harm me, but it's like, is this thing going to be the end of me? Is this thing going to stop me from ever actually succeeding? Is this thing going to stop me from doing anything? But the more that you have an abundance mindset of knowing God has good things coming to me, God is blessing me, God loves me, God cares for me, He's my Father, and He wants good things for me, and I can ask Him anything, and He is going to try if it's His will, He's going to give it to me. But at the end of the day, knowing we don't even need anything, but knowing not our will be done, but our Father's be done, because that's the best place to come from. All of a sudden you stop needing stuff and you start living in a place of abundance, like, God, thank you for this that you gave me right here. Thank you for this that you gave me right here. You start to be able to be happy with almost anything that you have. That's what we're trying to get to. That delight, that joy, that gratitude for these small things, and all of a sudden everything becomes more appreciative, and people can feel that abundance mindset that you're living out of. That's the universal poop test number 3. Are you somebody that just wants that desperation, has all these, you're trying to hold on to everything is just like, it just creates that ego, that pride, that insecurity that just starts flaring up like crazy, and that's not the best place to come from. So universal poop test number 4 is, do you view people as separate or as connected? Now, this is a little bit of a complicated one, but here's the breakdown here. So it's basically like, do you view people as competition, as, oh, they're so, like, you're comparing every single thing that you are to this one? Okay, firstly, also, for the first one of, what was it? Oh, that you are just that person, that you're just him or her because you are him or her. It's from a place of knowing that it's not, oh, are you a 10 out of 10? Are you a 5 out of 10? Or are you a this or that? No, you are one of one. You are one of one. That is freaking powerful. You are one of one. We are all uniquely one of one in God. And when we can realize that, all of a sudden we don't have to compare, or we don't have to think about anything. We don't have to say, you don't have to say, if somebody says, well, what makes you like act like you're so like, you have so much value? What makes you act so confident? Anything like that. It's not like, oh, well, it's because I got this and that, or I'm doing this right now, or I'm doing all these things, my business is going well, or I'm looking good today, or I got money right now, anything like that. It's because I'm one-on-one. Because I know that God has already made me complete right now. Not saying that you even have to get anything different. You don't have to get closer or farther, or whatever it might be. You don't have to do anything different. God, Jesus, has already won the war and has made us complete. And that's why you are valuable. That's why you can walk about with confidence and swagger in everyday life. You are one of one. Do you understand that? You are one of one. Uniquely one of one. And not only that goes for us, this goes along with the 4th one. We're connected. Every single other person is also one of one. Every single other person is uniquely and valuable and uniquely made by God, and God knew them in the womb also. And it's just something that we can realize the beauty in other people and also the beauty in ourselves. And when you see somebody else out there that's doing amazing things, somebody that can look freaking amazing, they're doing amazing things. You see Kobe Bryant out there, he's doing freaking crazy stuff on the court. It's not like, oh damn, I wish I had that, I wish I was like Kobe Bryant or anything. It's like, no, damn, you have that same thing, that same energy, that same ability that God has put in you. You have the, not saying you're gonna be a freaking basketball player, but in anything that you're doing, a creative act. You know, I'm doing these videos and this is where I've gotten to with it. This is something that God has put inside of me that I'm so grateful for. But you have also have something else that God has put inside of you, and whatever that is, you know that you're one of one. Not only one of one in all the good things about yourself, but all the weaknesses too. I think that's powerful, because the more that you start to realize everything that you're not is making you everything that you are. My weaknesses have literally been something that I didn't even want to think about, I didn't want to talk about, I didn't want to do that. But the more that I realized, it's given me such a compassion, a love for people, a joy. It's given me such a grace, because God has graced me himself and forgiven my sins, forgiven that stuff, but then also allowed me to see the insecurities of myself and the way that I've been able to grow through them and grow through them with God. It's given me a forgiveness and a grace with other people. And that is something that I don't know how that would have came about if I didn't have those weaknesses about myself. So you are one on one, everything about you, accepting all about you, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it might be, man. That is something that we can confidently walk with. And the last one, the fourth one, the connectedness, knowing we are getting to a place that we are loving unconditionally, knowing that God loves us, and loving ourselves unconditionally through God. And not only that, taking that and also loving other people unconditionally. That is what we are getting to. Loving other people. Just like Jesus said to his disciples before he was going to go. He said that he wants us to love others how he has loved us. And I think that is freaking powerful. If we can continue to do that. Now, this is tough. This can be tough. One of the things that you can say to yourself, how well did you love your Judas today? Because Judas is somebody that backstabbed Jesus. He did all that stuff. But Jesus continued to love him. And that's why Jesus was in such a powerful place that he was coming from. That's why we look towards him. He's just so beautiful and perfect and amazing. And we can continue to foster that. I notice once I start to love people, even the most negative people out there. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect again, but I'm trying to foster it as best I can. And I'm noticing how I'm getting better and better at it. I'm doing meditations, I'm literally just thinking about this stuff. And the more I embrace the love of God upon myself, the more I'm able to give it to other people. It's this different damn state that you start walking about in your life. And it's freaking amazing. I love it, and I know you guys are going to love it. And it's that fourth universal poop test, because people are going to see, does this person just instantly start talking negatively about people, start gossiping about people, start getting upset that this person is acting a certain way. If you imagine how freaking crazy it is to be able to be like, this person's acting this way and this way about this person, but they still love them. This person just like try to talk crap to this person or try to call out their insecurity, and this person just like laughed about it and said, hey man, I'm not even tripping about it. I love you. I still love you. I still love you, and I have a lot of love for you. I have appreciation for you. Just something like that, you know, still being able to laugh about it. And it's just like, that's the most gangster place that you can come from. I know it's not, I'm not, you know, whatever, but it is the best place that we can come from as people. And that's the fourth universal poop test. So remember, the first one, are you one of one? Reminding yourself that you're one of one. You are them, him or her. You are him or her, simply because because you know that you are a child of God, and not having it from anything else, not having it from your looks. And this is a way that you can test it too. The more, if your confidence is up and down based on like, okay, I'm looking good today and I'm feeling good and now my confidence is going up, versus if I look bad today, or if something's happening and it's just not happening, it's not there today, that's how you know, okay, I gotta place it more into God. You're finding the holes in your boat and you're patching them up with God. This is how we get stronger and stronger and be able to go about and have this as a communicator out there when we're doing this stuff. The second one, remember, reminding yourself that everything, all your happiness comes from the inside. Knowing that it's all hinged on you. Your emotional state is hinging upon being able to get into the presence of God, and knowing that there is fullness of joy in his presence, that there is peace upon his presence, and there's hope and there's love upon his presence, and not anywhere else on the outside. The third universal poop test, being able to live in abundance, and knowing, having the abundance mindset versus having the scarcity mindset. That's so powerful, knowing that God has so much for you, and knowing that you can just keep going about it, even if people don't like you, even if people are even if a whole bunch of people just say that they freaking hate you, it's all that, there's always going to be the one person out there for you. There's always going to be the people that you're going to be able to connect with, the people that God will bring into your life, knowing that it's not upon your own will, knowing that it's not about what you do. This is powerful too. It's like fishing, man. When you go out there and fish, you have to cast the reel. This is what Michael Jordan was talking about. You got to go out there and you got to cast the reel and allow the reel to just be, allowing it to just be out there, the hook to just be out there, and knowing that you can't do anything to make it happen, but that God can instantly come and make it happen in an instant. Just like he did for Peter when he told him, Peter was out there fishing, you ain't gonna get no fish. And then all of a sudden God tells him, go out there and cast your line. He goes and he casts his line, or he casts the net, and all of a sudden they have all these fish come. That's the abundance mindset, knowing that God is coming from God on our own will, and we can continue to have a smile on our face and be happy about that, even if we lose stuff, even if things happen, even if people leave our life. And knowing that you all of a sudden can start walking about your life knowing that you have that abundance mindset, and you're not freaking fearing if something is lost, if things are gone, and people start to feel that, and you start to be able to walk about more confidently, knowing that you're not living in the constant fear of these things going wrong. And lastly, the separation versus connectedness. Very good. Separation versus connectedness, knowing that we are all connected, knowing that we are all children of God, and that we're all loving. It's a cooperation or a competitive versus collaborative frame. If you come from a collaborative frame, it's a lot more powerful. And these are all things that Owen Cook has talked about. It's so dang amazing, man. I love you guys very much. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. This is just such a powerful thing. Continue to get this honed into your brain. I'm gonna watch this video over and over again just because it's something so powerful, and it's something I want to remember for the rest of my freaking life. So remember, these are the universal poop tests that people are gonna do, that you're doing on camera. When you got to do this, if you can pass these, you get better on camera, when you're talking to people, when you're just going about your life in general, man. It's the best way, and it's going to help you live a better and better and better life and get into a closer and closer presence with God. Love you guys very much, man. Hope you guys are doing amazing today. I'll talk to you on the next video. Peace.